Oh, welcome to a very special episode of the Haunted Saloon. I'm your host, AJ Wyatt. Today, we've got Jacob and Ricky Business of the garage rock duo Detective Frog. Here's a little piece of their song, Pale Teeth. Check it out. Man, you guys, that is a pretty killer song. All your songs are actually pretty damn killer. I mean, I've gotten to see you guys live a handful of times. I've been in the practice space. I mean, I don't want to like brag, I don't toot my horn at everybody here, but I'm kind of friends with you guys too, which is really rad. We've gotten to know each other over the past, I don't know, a few months, 5-6 months.
Yeah, almost a year.
I really like what you guys are doing. But let's jump into this. I want to talk about this. You recently did a show up in Montana, kind of like a weekend tour you guys did, basically.
Yes.
And tell me about this Witches Festival that you guys did.
Yeah, so we've got kind of a manager in Montana, and he was talking to a German guy. He was actually out promoting the release of our first single, Pale Teeth, that song that was just playing. And the German guy asked him if we would play at his bar. And so, obviously, we said yes, and we didn't know it was a Witches Festival until about, 4 days?
Yeah, it was like a last-minute thing that they dropped on us, so there's some pretty cool thematic shit going on in the audience for Witches Fest. This German guy was crazy. He's like... very German. It's like, oh yes, this is super cool. And he had people. We had dudes hanging up by body suspension, like meat hooks, in the audience while we were playing. Just blood dripping on the audience. Really unsanitary, but that's the kind of thing you can expect at a frog show.
I think, like, out of all the things that could have been last minute to find out, like, this Witches Festival run by this guy chewing on sauerkraut is probably, like, the best case scenario. Right?
Yeah, no, the...
Yeah.
We saw the poster, and it said Live Body Suspensions by... I can't remember the name of the outfit, but it was another guy who had spent time in Germany... he lived in a castle? It was like straight out of some movie. He lived in this castle and would like hang people over I don't know how true any of this is, but he said he would hang people over cliffs doing the body suspension. They got their own lingo. This guy's never flown before, Yeah,
this is going to be this guy's first time flying. I was starting to think that when they all turned out to be German and also into like weird like S&M shit, that it was just going to be like a Dusk Till Dawn situation where we were dealing with actual vampires at the show.
Yeah, that's when things kind of take a turn. I'll tell you what, like I've met some really cool people that like at first like they had these really cool interests, like, oh, you're ghost hunters, right? But then there's always some weird sex thing that like comes in. Yeah, we go to the haunted house and then we just suck each other's genitalia dry.
I don't know a better way to do it, and until someone tells me a better way to do it, I'm not gonna.
That sounds exciting and all, but like sometimes I just want to ghost hunt.
Same.
So you guys had this really good turnout, I'm guessing, in Montana at this Witches Festival.
Yes,
right?
Yeah, it ended up being something like 200 plus people. It was absolutely massive.
And then there's this huge after party, right? Where like,
yes,
almost unplanned, right? But it's like they roll out the red carpet for you guys, and it's like you're a Montana favorite.
It was wild. We had a DJ. His name's Jared. He goes by Saganist, and he does kind of like a psytrance kind of thing. So we had close to 100 people in a single wide trailer, all boogieing down to some like doomy psytrance shit. It was fucking awesome. But yeah, so close to 100 people stuffed in this little trailer. Psytrance, it's all doomy. The vibe was there. I thought the porch was going to give out a few times because at any given time there's probably about 30 to 40 people outside smoking.
Yeah. So give me a little more insight about the band as a creative entity. Like, what are you guys about? What's Detective Frog about? I like to talk about creative process on the show. I like to talk about the things that make you guys tick, right? Some of the stuff that maybe like other interviewers wouldn't talk about, right? I feel like that's kind of the cool thing, like as a fellow music creator,
Right.
you know, not just a online curator, right? I care about the music. I care about the stuff that makes us tick. So let's talk about the project artistically, and then we can go into like maybe songwriting process and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. At least for me, I've always loved movies, right? Horror movies, sci-fi, action, Western, you name it. And using it as kind of like a device to tell different stories, right? We're kind of looking at it more like an anthology as opposed to just a straight concept.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Right, like a monster movie marathon. This whole first album is just different.
Mummy Dearest.
Yes.
Right? It's just a chapter in this fucking novel that is Detective Frog, right?
Yeah, you're like 5 beers deep, no pants on, it's Halloween night, you're not trick-or-treating. Right, you're watching movies and Mummy comes on. That's about where we're trying to get you at.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that way. And even though it's not intended, and Frog really has nothing to do specifically with that, but like I almost picture like the Detective Frog mystery series, like novels, right? And it's
Right.
these different chapters. I mean, that's just one way your mind can take it. And like that's the beautiful thing about doing something creative like this is you just leave that to the audience. I'm
Right.
assuming, right?
Absolutely. No, it's very much up to whoever's listening to it to make of it what they will.
Ricky Business, what do you think?
Yeah, man. That's a good introduction. I think our you brought up the name, which is kind of like funny at this stage. Like when the name comes up, Detective Frog, people are like, "What's it mean? What's the frog part?" And I'm gonna actually completely refuse to answer that question.
Yeah.
But what I will say is this: when somebody asks us about like what it means, it's like, and maybe there's an answer to this because I don't know anything about the Red Hot Chili Peppers like etymology, but like, dude, what does Red Hot Chili Peppers mean? When I hear it, I think of like a fucking bassist who absolutely fucking slaps. I think about the whole like funk rock kind of like rap adjacent vibe, and I'm just thinking Red Hot Chili Peppers, and that's like when I want somebody to like hear the name Detective Frog, I just want them to like feel the place that we're making.
Yeah. Think about you guys. Think about the music, right? And that's what happens to most band names anyways, right? Like no one's sitting there going, oh, the Beatles, like they don't look like bugs. You know, like that.
Ringo might a little bit.
Like that's never like a fucking thing, you know? Like one of the things I used to fucking hate about Wyatt and the Ashes, everyone just assumed that was Wyatt. And like
It's like a Hootie and the Blowfish
yeah,
situation.
exactly. I ended up just taking the name to make it easy, but you know, so like, yeah, like I'm already a fan for like a few months here. And I've never seen the Frog. I've never seen a detective in my mind. That's never, ever happened. It's not a thing. But we can get off that. But let's talk more about the writing process. Tell me a little more about the creative entity of the band. You know, fuck the name at this point. Like, what are we, like, what's the future hold? What do you guys got going on?
Yeah. So, I mean, if we want to tackle like writing process, creative process, Ricky, what do you think? You want to take the reins on this one?
Yeah, that's cool, man. So we've been together almost 2 years as a duo, and we both came from pretty different musical backgrounds, but we have a lot of shared interests, and it's kind of interesting. We have sort of like a tension a little bit in sort of what we bring and what we provide. He's kind of coming from, I'm actually not going to speak for him. I'll just talk about where I'm coming from. You know, like, I love punk rock. I love a really wide range of music, like psychedelic, electronic stuff, a lot of indie stuff. I'm a little bit older than Jacob also, so like my core musical memories are like shoegaze music, like the indie music of the 90s, like Pavement and fucking Guided by Voices and shit. And like, I love the lo-fi aesthetic to it. I love a big range of music. So like when we collaborate, there's like a little bit of a push and pull. And so I play drums and sing. He plays guitar and sings. He's kind of like front man. And we just try to like maximize that sound. But in terms of like the creative process for making a song, I would say a very typical like process for us is he'll come in with kind of like his like garage rock, desert rock, kind of like a little bit of almost metal influence. I don't know if he would agree with that, but like that stuff comes in and we start with the riff, dude, because that's the main thing.
Right.
We're a guitar forward sound.
Yeah.
And we just want you to fucking dig into that riff and just groove. Mm-hmm. And then I come in with kind of like a jazzy, funky drum part. And then, and from there, we kind of talk it out. Like, what's the song? What is this mood about? What's the song about? And we generate the lyrics from there.
Yeah. And like I could say from listening to you guys, like it's cool that you give him that guitar room, right? But like also with that, you can hear those spots where like you shine or you come in with this like trippy like bell sound or these different clicks and different things. It's cool to watch you utilize the drum set for more than what's what most drummers would deem, the available setup. I've seen you use the rim and different things. Like, you guys jazz it up quite a bit.
Yeah, we're trying to. When I say like maximize the sound of a duo, obviously in the early 2000s, right, when I'm in like high school or whatever, like you got the White Stripes, you got shortly after like Black Keys, you got this like revivalist of like minimalist garage rock sound and people making just absolutely massive sounds with very, very small resources. And for me, if you see my drum kit, it looks like a fucking toy. It's like I don't give a shit about gear, which is an exact like that's another tension or juxtaposition with us. He's got like this just badass like scientifically constructed guitar rig, and I have a literal pile of trash with some toys taped to it, and just try to make, and then we harmonize. We do as much as we can with that. We just absolutely like try to get water from a stone out of it and just fucking squeeze it till we get everything.
Yeah. No, and it shows, man. And like I absolutely love that. Yeah, I like that you guys like share that energy, and both very energetic live. And there's songs where I'd even say Ricky sounds like the lead vocalist, really. Like he becomes like the lead singer.
Yeah,
and
we
then
trade
you're kind
off
of doing
on that,
this like trippy thing off to the side. It's cool that you guys can both share frontman energy,
right,
and backing man energy, and can do that without even switching seats.
Right. Yeah. No, we try to play to our strengths because there's no sense in only the song suffers when you start like pandering to egos.
Yeah.
So if there's something that's just right up Ricky's lane, then he's the one singing it.
I think you guys accomplished that really, really well. That definitely translates well.
Whoa there, cowboy. Is your love life drier than a June sagebrush poking pricklies on a desert cattle's bunghole? Well, look no further, fella. The cavalry has arrived. Spunk Lube. That's right, Spunk Lube. This ain't your average romance jelly jam. Whether you're sharing a 10-up and broke back or flying solo, Tonto, Spunk Lube will have you slinging your Cyclops and whistling out your Dixie. For group parties playing cowboys and Indians or just a quick one around in the chamber, Spunk Lube gets you hydrated for those long rides of bumping uglies into the sunset. Don't put a bounty on your head. Drizzle Spunk Lube instead. That's Spunk Lube, partner.
All right, this one is called Ghost Cab.
You look lost. Need a ride? I'll take you anywhere you need to go. It's free. 2, 3. It's been a long damn night. Had to hitch a ride from a black car on the cliffside. My eyes come to a close. Don't know where we're going, but we're going somewhere. I'm just along for the ride. Drive me away from the light. How long can you be to run? Better than suicide. Cruising to the other side in leather seats of a ghost cab. The shifter knobs are skull. Driver seat seems quiet, but hey, what do I know? We shift into top gear. When we pass the windows, I see my deepest fear.
Skeletons sneaking around in the bushes, smoking wolves fucking getting it on. Mega demons all around the South Pole. Swear to hell, oh hell, I'm gone. Dracula slipping blood on the patio. Frankenstein taking rips from the bones. Smoking demons all around the South Pole. Swear to hell, oh, what am I on?
I'm just along for the ride. Drive me away from the light. How long can you lead a run? Better than suicide. Cruising to the other side. Leather seats of a ghost cab.
Man.
Thank you. That I would like to thank Spunk Lube for giving me the strength and the lubrication for a swift and easy penetration and completion of the song.
Oh man, thanks for coming over.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and while we're on the topic, I mean, let me tell you, I love smoking cigarettes.
While we're on the topic.
And while we're on the topic of loving smoking cigarettes, I will just go on the record and say that the earth is flat. Psych. It's actually hollow.
I believe that.
I believe that too.
Well, first of all, hold on. Speaking of cigarettes, dude, I'm 2 years off.
2 years.
I used to smoke like a goddamn fucking chimney, dude.
I bet you looked cool as fuck when you were doing it, though.
Oh, man. I bet I looked so cool. Nice. I miss it sometimes, you know.
I just finished smoking and I miss it already.
That's when you roll up something different and smoke it just for the pleasure, you know. All right, so Ghost Cab, that dude. Let me ask you about this song. So this is another chapter in
this movie marathon.
Yeah,
kind
this
of.
movie marathon. I love that. So you got Mommy Dearest.
Mummy Dearest.
That's what I said.
Pretend you're British and say it.
Mummy, mama. Yeah. Yeah, you do kind of smoke like a chimney, dude.
Yes.
Is that the secret to your beautiful voice?
Well, it's not only the secret to my... I kind of view myself as like a sexual dynamo, and I credit that largely to smoking and
Sexual
Spunk
dynamo.
Lube. Are they paying you extra every time I say Spunk Lube?
I wish. But they do send me a gallon of lube.
How often?
It comes with a pump.
Let's see, what's...
Every 6 months if I wanted it, but I go for once a year.
So you're
It's
saying you're
enough
going
lube.
like a gallon every 6 months, or are you going a gallon... I want to know your intake.
I find other uses for it.
Now I'm interested.
You know, I mean, you got a little squeaky door hinge, a little
Spunk
spunk lube.
It's a universal... They say water's the universal solvent.
Here's the kicker. For those of you listening that have never used spunk lube, it looks like cum.
You were right.
I wasn't right. I
Intuitive.
intuitive. That's the word. So we were talking about my creative process earlier. I like to get in touch with my muse.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of just existing in this liminal place, and it's the same place that it came to me that if I were to create a lube and market it as spunk, it would have to look like the real stuff. You know?
Yeah.
I want mine to look like road tar.
Which it does.
Like road tar?
No, like spunk.
Oh.
Like actual spunk. I'm
sorry, you want your personal lubricant to look like road tar, or you want something that you produce out of your
I vote
body?
marinara.
I'm going to hit it with a both. Marinara is good, but if like what I put on myself and
I
what
call it
comes out of
spicy
me,
meatballs.
but if like the fluids that I produce look like road tar, that's kind of badass.
Would you call it Mad Max? Mad Spanks.
I'd call it like Charlize Theron's robot arm, like hydraulic fluid, and that's what they use.
Did they? What do they use for the alien spit?
Well, that's a great question. You've just touched on one of my core autisms here.
Let's hear. Give me some knowledge.
Well, since we were talking milk, I thought we were going into what's inside the android that gets destroyed. The android that's double crossing the crew of the Nostromo. I don't know what's in the actual acid.
Okay.
Is it actually milk that they use?
It's got to be. What else? Are they going to take like 10 hours to try to create like a synthetic compound that mimics milk?
Someone listening to this is going to call in and be like, half and half. It was half and half.
I think it was a spunk lube inside the robot.
We'll confirm that next episode.
That should look slippery
for
as hell.
sure.
We're going to need someone to Google that. If you're listening at home, could you Google, did they use synthetic bust for the android fluid in the first Alien movie?
It took me a while to get comfortable using spunk lube on myself for solo adventures, because I feel like the cleanup is the worst part of the job.
Well, you don't know what's yours and what's not.
Starting off with cleanup, it was rough.
I mean,
but it works well.
You could use I think kitty litter would probably. Is it petroleum based? Is it is this water based, or is this like petroleum?
Like a diesel cleanup? No. It is water based, but it feels like silicone based.
So I mean, you got to use the opposite on the other end of elements. You got to use fire to get that off.
Good luck.
Don't need it. I got science.
So what's next for you guys musically? Are you recording right now?
Yes, we are actually. I think we're going to release another single. That one's called Phantom of the Community Theater. I'll let you kind of infer what that's about.
And you guys are recording with my boy Cody over at Asteroid M. We're going to shout out Cody right now.
Absolutely. That guy
fucking
rocks.
doing a great job. Killing it with all the bands that he touches. Yes. I just released, not to make it, about the White and the Ash, but White and the Ash just released a new single.
Crazy Pills.
Crazy Pills is badass. Go listen to it. It's pretty good.
Crazy Pills.
We did a really great job. And I'm very proud of that song. But you guys have been recording with Cody as well. The stuff that I'm hearing before everybody else is hearing,
Insider,
is actually fucking really good.
Thank you, bro.
Fucking so much fun. It's got so much energy. I'm super stoked. I'm going to come down and see you guys at the Huntridge Tavern here in Las Vegas. This is June 12th at the Huntridge Tavern, Las Vegas. And they can find you on Instagram, Facebook, right, for all your show dates.
Yeah, so Instagram's our main focus.
Right.
I'm a little bit inept when it comes to social media, but there is...
Is this at Detective Frog Band? What is the...
Detective Frog Band, yes.
Oh, I guessed on that.
You were correct in that.
So at Detective Frog Band, Instagram, main hook, you guys are going to get all the Detective Frog information you need to keep your monsters wet and lubed. Absolutely.
There is an upcoming OnlyFans page.
And then check this, again in Vegas, you guys are killing it. Double Down Saloon.
Yes.
This is July 9th. Check them out, the Double Down here in Las Vegas. This is an Asteroid M event. Again, our boy Cody. It's going to be a music and comedy mashup. So get your asses down to the Double Down, the happiest place on earth. Grab yourself an ass juice, a cocktail, a beer. They have all those things. And fucking Detective Frog, July fucking 9th.
Yeah, if you mention the Haunted Saloon podcast, we will personally
They
kiss
flip you off.
No, we'll kiss you right on your lips.
You hear that, guys? They
Come and get it while it's hot.
They'll give you smooches for mentioning this podcast.
Promo code Haunted Saloon podcast.
So this has been a fucking awesome episode. You guys killed it in the acoustic session. It's been really fun talking to you guys. I really look forward to what's next. Is there anything else you want to mention or talk about before we skadoot?
Oh, shit. Let's see. Do you have anything that you want to bring up?
Yeah, I just want to say to everybody out there to just take care of yourself. Take it easy on yourself. I know, I'm serious. If you're stressing about something right now, you're okay.
Oh, the sun god, you were right. Underground, out of your light. Built into these big red stones. I'm the one. God of kings.
Yeah, cowboy, when I'm feeling dry, you know what I do? I apply me a little spunk lube before my sex.
With spunk lube, dry sticking parts are a thing of the past. It'll be easy sliding to and fro.
Just apply it right on your genitalia.
When for best results, aptly directly to penis.
Dude, that's right, partner. I said spunk lube.
Why don't you try some of my cum?
I am absolutely covered in semen.
Ah, spunk lube.